What's going down, man? It's Donnie Houston. Check it out, man. COVID is going nowhere. All right, they got new strains coming out, the Omarion or Omicron or whatever that is. You know what I'm saying? But hey, man, we going into year 2 of this thing, year 3 really. You know what I'm saying? And the only way to make sure you're safe is to stay safe. You know what I'm saying? So, listen, I need you to go to findcovid19test.com. They're doing COVID tests, swabbing. You know what I mean? You can get them to come out for your company, for your kids' football team, anything you have going on, man. So find COVID19test.com, man. You need to get that today. Take care of yourself. Make sure you and your loved ones are safe. Man, okay. So, man, okay. So you were saying you working with Inner Soul and with the Pimp thing. How early that start going?
Pimp had went to prison, and I was getting all these because I would see him at Judy's or see him on the streets or some shit, and I was getting all these sporadic stories like, man, he walked up in this bitch with an AK and all kind of shit, and I'm like, homie, and they're like, yeah. I'm like, all right, And then another one of our mutual friends.
Are you talking about Pimp walked in here with an AK?
Yeah.
Wait. What this is? Wait. You can't just tell. You.
I don't know. He has some. See, that's the thing. I'm a fan at this time. I'm not on the inside, so I don't know why my nigga moving around PA like that.
Yeah.
But hey, whatever it was, he had to be ready for it and whatnot. So I seen another one of our mutual friends, and he like, yeah, man, he on some other shit. And I'm like, okay, shit. I hope he's straight. Then right after that, I heard he went to prison. At this time, I was on Guffway. I had a car lot in a detail shop, and my nigga Jay Will come there to buy a car. And he walk up on me. He like, hey man, where the man at? And he just disregarding that I'm standing there asking me where the man at. And I'm like, oh, he must think, you know what I'm saying? So I say, the man gone right now. He like, shit, man, I want to check out some of these cars, this and that, this and that. I'm like, I can show them to you. So make a long story short, he checked out this one little cash car, and I'm like, take the motherfucker, spend some time with it, and if you want to buy it, come back and tell me. He like, man, can you do that? I'm like, yeah. So he take it, come back about 2 days, boom, boom, boom. He cash me out, boom, boom. I said, nigga, I'm the man. He like, damn, nigga. Like, I didn't know. So he like, nigga, I got the studio. So we started trading off. He come to the auction with me, woo, woo. I go to the motherfucking studio, shaking the rust off. I'm making whack ass songs, but them hoes sound good with some great clarity. And I'm working with one of his artists, Ricky Diamonds. And then I bump into my niggas from back in the day, Wes and Ave. And them niggas start doing some engineering for me. And they did like not a demo, it was like an underground album with about 8 songs on it. They did that. And then I started circulating that. I put about 4,500 copies in the streets. After that, niggas wanted me to come to LA. I go to LA with them and I do a mixtape. And then I come back, and it's like my first project that I press up retail ready and start banging up the streets with. And so I'm out there popping the trunk on that shit in the streets. And then I bumps into Riley B. That's a Pimp brother-in-law. So he buy one of the mixtapes, and he leave, and he come back like a couple hours later, and he like, say, man, you ever talk to Mama West? And I'm like, who is that? He like, Pimp Mama. I'm like, why would I need to talk to her? You know what I mean? No disrespect, I just didn't.
What was the reasoning behind you asking me specifically about talking to his mom? Right.
Because I'm like a fucking guard dog. Niggas say my mama, I'm like, you know what I mean? So when he explained to me, some of the things she was doing and the role she was playing, I'm like, nah, I never met her. And he like, well, she wants you to come by and chop it up with her, this and that, this and that. I'm like, shit, cool. Tell her I'll come by there tomorrow. Because my mission was, I had 1,000 CDs, you know what I'm saying, 200 in the box, 5 boxes, and I don't have no distribution because I come through this one company that was here that wound up going bankrupt. It was like an albino dude. I think it was called Southwest, I don't remember. But it was an albino dude, and he told me he was going to give me this little distribution deal, like put my shit in different stores all over that I couldn't touch. And so the first 1,000, he was gonna circulate them hoes for me. But once I got them back, he was like, man, we finna go out of business, this and that, and I'm finna have a heart attack, all kind of old crazy ass shit. So I'm like, what the fuck I'm gonna do with this 1,000 CDs? So I hops in my Cadillac and go right down the street. I'm in Houston. I go right down the street. I stand at the motherfucking store. Hey man, what's up? Boom, 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 boom. I just start selling them hoes, $10 a pop. Them hoes shrink wrap, glass mouse, they retail ready. So jump back to what we was. I go and see Pimp Mom, and real nice lady. We sit down and talk. She in the kitchen and she start talking about her role. She played with them, and I'm like, damn, I didn't know that. You know what I mean? So now I'm like gripping my seat, like, damn, she telling me all this shit. And so she like, you got a manager? I say, nah. So she like, who helped you do all this shit? I'm like, what? She like, put your CD together, this and that, this and that. I say, me. She like, no. And I said, yeah. And I said, I also got a business down the street and another business, boom, 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 detail shop in a car lot, and I do pressure washing for the city of Port Arthur and whatnot. She like, you and who? I say, me. She like, come on, man. So she started inviting me over and briefing me and telling me more about the music business. She started calling niggas like Greg Street, different people trying to, let them hear different shit. But in reality, a lot of that shit, it wasn't ready for what was happening around this area, because I was shaking off the rust trying to find my identity and shit. So a lot of the songs, they didn't really have a certain coast type sound, but they did display lyrical content and clarity, because my engineers, them niggas had went to Berkeley and shit. So the shit sounded impeccable. If we had to gauge like quality, you would go UGK, DMD, and then my shit. But I had no team or no administration, no public. I had nothing to tell the public, this is what this nigga doing. Only way you found out is if you actually bumped into me. And so for years, she just kept grooming me. She started trying to get me shows. She was getting me all these little shows. I would open for Big Mo and just all these different people. Rec Shop was like hot than a motherfucker back then. And she would just tell me so much about Pimp. And we started spending a lot of time together. And then I started to realize, like, I actually thought when you say Pimp C's mom, you thinking all these people who he down with going to his crib, checking on his mama, doing trill ass, real ass shit. But I would be there a whole lot, and I just never seen none of that. And so I started to realize she wanna engage with me on some music management shit, but she actually really need a real nigga down with her right now. And I said, fuck it. I started being there for personal shit, whatever, like music shit, personal shit. We became like family. She started cooking for a nigga, and man, she could cook like a motherfucker. German chocolate cakes, gumbos, baked chicken, baked that motherfucker for about 4-5 hours, nigga. That bitch taste like cotton candy going in your motherfucking mouth. But yeah, so me and her relationship got tight as motherfucking titties, and niggas was jealous of that shit, because they thinking, oh, that nigga over there trying to suck up to that man mama to get down with him. Nigga, I was summoned over there. And when I got over there, it wasn't easy for me to leave, because she actually needed a nigga. And it wasn't like, no, I'm hanging around this older lady and it's not beneficial to both of us. It was a real fucking relationship. It started to be like family. She always was picking up a phone, vouching for a nigga, introducing a nigga to somebody. Boom, boom, boom. Come over here, baby. We finna do this. And we sit in the kitchen and we make motherfucking moves from the kitchen and shit that I didn't even think I could make, you know what I'm saying, from PA. And so by the time he got out, he understood the role that I played for her, because I also used to bring her to go see him in prison. You know what I mean? I never wrote him. I never tried to create no fake ass friendship. You know what I mean? I just played the position I played. And by that time, he was about to get out. It was so many he finna get out type things that people started acting like, oh, y'all niggas don't know what's up. That nigga ain't coming home. And then this one time she had an inside track, and they was giving her play-by-play. He at the gates. He in the bus. He finna be in Huntsville. And she like excited in the bitch telling me. So I'm like, it's finna happen this night. And that actual night, I was in Houston fucking with my nigga Big Bank Hank. I had a whole era with Hank. Me and Hank and my homeboy Hard Time. He was promoting my nigga Hard Time, getting his music out. And I was like the featured artist on my nigga Hard Time shit. So Big Bang Hank actually took a nigga down through there in Houston and helped me meet all the who's who, this and that, all the clubs, this and that, standing on motherfucking couches and tables, drinking Cristal, throwing all that motherfucking money. You know how the game go. And so the actual night Pimp was finna get out, Bun was having a show somewhere, and he like, we're gonna go to that show and fuck with Bun. I'm like, cool. Bun my nigga, like, it ain't nothing. When I walk up to Bun, it just open doors. What's up? So I walk up to Bun, I'm like, what's up, man? You heard the news? He like, hell yeah, it's for real this time. So he do his show, and then he tell the crowd like, man, my motherfucking brother finna get out. I'm finna go home and do this here. Then he like, nah, I ain't even gonna go home and go to sleep. I'm gonna stay up. Then we gonna go get our motherfucking brother. So next time you see me, I'm gonna have Pimp with me. And everybody went crazy. And then we left. And then I talked to Mama. She was like, you coming with me to Huntsville? I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do that because I got a lot of niggas wanna bless his game with just different gifts and shit like that. And I'm gonna go pick up all that shit. So I got like a utility bag. You know how they be having at them construction sites? I got a big ass black utility bag. And I went to, I think my nigga Dayla, he was on the north. He from PA and shit, but he was on the north in Houston. I went to my partner, cell phone store in PA. I think my nigga CNR wanted to bless his game with some shit. Long story short, all these stores, all these trill ass niggas, they blessed my nigga with watches, cell phones, Air Force Ones, J's, Dickies, just whatever. And I came back to PA, and they had picked them up and made it back to PA. And then she called me. She like, he here. And that shit was like crazy because I've been going over there all this time and he wasn't there. But now finally, this nigga is really here.
Donnie Houston.